How are you?
Hey, guys.
He's on separately.
Rob, we are getting a lot of folks here, so slowly
All
adding
right.
them. Yeah, thanks for spending some time with us today.
No problem, guys.
I think we're just about to add Coach here.
What's up, Sohan?
Yes, sir.
Coach, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
So, Rob, while we're still adding a couple more folks here, I just want to thank you, and I know Coach Walker will as well, for first the autograph book this winter. They were a nice little Christmas present for the boys.
Hard to hear you. Someone's talking in the background.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and mute everybody. Coach, I'm leaving you. Coach Walker, I'm leaving you unmuted, and Rob, I'll leave you unmuted. Just give me a second here. Hey, so Rob, so thank you for the autographed books this winter. I appreciate that for Christmas. Boys loved it. I know Coach uses a instructional, use that all winter long, kind of get after the boys a little bit on some of your pointers.
Yeah, right.
Snap, but some of these guys heard way too often about your keys to the game. So.
Yeah, great. Appreciate it.
Hey, yeah, and I just want to give a shout out to you, and I want to thank you and kind of pick your brain just a little bit. But I really do like the network. That was one of our key terms, one of our little pick-me-up words that we use throughout the school, throughout the season. So I want to thank you. My boys are going to be laughing at me because I haven't shaved or gotten a haircut since this shutdown, since spring break. So they've never seen the old man look like this. So they're going to be laughing throughout, but don't worry about it.
I'm the same here. I've never had a bear like this in my life. So,
Right.
So, Rob, a little background. I think we've this may be everybody. We'll see if anybody else joins. There's about 15 or so kids on now, I think. Okay. A little background. Coach Walker coaches Oakridge Owls varsity team in Arlington, Texas. So you might know Arlington well, located right between Dallas and Fort Worth. Play in what's known as the SPC, Southwest Preparatory Conference, which is a league of private schools in Texas and Oklahoma. Plays pretty good competition. These guys have come in the top four the last couple of years. They've done well in Coach's 2 years with the team. And I think we've got one senior that's dialed in right now, Dexter with do-rag. And everybody else will be returning next year to try to go after that championship. With that, Rob, I think are you calling in from Rhode Island or are you?
Yeah, I'm up in Rhode Island. Yep. Trying to hopefully get back on the road soon when this NBA hopefully gets going. So.
Terrific. Yeah, sorry, Coach. Go ahead.
Now, I was just going to ask, who are some of the guys you're training this year?
This year is pretty much the same guys: D Rose, K-Love, Alfred Payton with the point guard for the Knicks. I'll go see hopefully maybe KD soon. So same mix of guys, Horford, and then some of the younger guys. But usually I'm doing pre-draft right now. I've done 16 straight pre-drafts, so it's a little weird for me to not be working guys out, these young kids. So I just hope they're working, So if not, they're in for a long first year.
Good. Yeah. I've been sending, and it's kind of hard to do some workouts. Actually, our school is closed, but I send those guys workouts to do as far as, and I always tell them do the dribbling drills and get some shooting if it's possible.
Yeah.
But, make sure they're doing some ab work and their push-ups for some of them that don't have access to the weight room.
Yeah. I mean, I think any workout, I think the best advice I can give you guys is be efficient with it. I love when some kids and see some pros, man, I'm in the gym all day, man, got there at 9, left at 5. It's like, if you're there for 8 hours, you can't be working that hard because you'd be dead. So my whole thing, I mean, speaking of KD, when we work out, we would go sometimes 45 minutes, no water break, done. But he would go so hard in those 45 minutes to an hour that he'd be exhausted. Every rep would be a game rep. And I would ask him, if he didn't do it the right way or as hard as you can go, I said, would that work in a game? Ask yourself, would that work in a game? If not, you just wasted a rep. So KD is a great example of just being efficient, getting in. There's no reason to work out for 2.5 hours. There really is no reason at all. Just be efficient with it. Have a game plan going in, and every rep's a game rep. So I've never done a workout more than an hour and 15 minutes probably in my life. I mean, because we go so hard. We go, we're just so efficient. I've been lucky being around guys that want to work. So, and I think don't get in bad habits. I think it goes across the board to adults too. Right now it's easy to sleep in. It's easy to not eat good. It's easy to get fast food. So don't get in bad habits where it's really going. I know you're young and you eat, kind of whatever you want, but a lot of people can create bad habits for now eating wise because they're just comfortable and they're eating late. Keep that in mind because nutrition is a major thing now. Major thing.
What kind of advice could you give us, especially myself, when it comes to, because a lot of my guys play on AAU teams, and I'm thankful, for them playing throughout the summer. But when I get them back in the fall, a lot of them have picked up some bad habits.
Yep.
How do I reemphasize and tell them, as far as doing the right thing with your AAU teams, and is that what you're going to do, when you're back here with us?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think nowadays, first of all, no matter what position you play, quote unquote, work on everything. So you don't know where you're going to be in 5 years, if you're going to grow or if your body's going to change. But so work on everything. I mean, right now we have 6'9" point guards and 6'9" centers like Jeremy Green. So you never know where you're going to end up. But nowadays, you got to be versatile. And if you can't shoot at that level, you're not going to be at that level pretty much, unless you're, like a freak like Giannis or whatever. But, and my thing, I mean, definitely work on what your weaknesses, let's say. But I always say there's no reason you should be working on your strengths just as much. I mean, if you're a great shooter and that's what you do, you catch and shoot, you don't have to work on post moves. Work on what you're good at. Steph Curry, for example, still work on shooting all the time. You think, why would Steph Curry work on the shooting? Well, he wants to go 52% for 3 to 53% or 54%, whatever it is. So always continue to work on your strengths. Don't forget about that, because sometimes people worry about what they're not good at and really should be improving what you really are good at.
Mm-hmm. Now, you were a former walk-on, am I correct?
Yeah, Syracuse. I played Syracuse, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So what advice would I give guys that, don't want to play at certain levels, they want to play at other levels, and they may have to walk on?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what happened to me. It's a pretty crazy story. So I went to Syracuse, and I was, an arrogant 17-year-old, just won a state championship. And I was getting like low D1 offers, D2. So I got into Syracuse. I wanted to do broadcasting. Then I was like, yeah, I'm going to go up there and walk on easily. This will be easy. I'll just show them hard work, and that's it. So I was hounding Coach Boeheim, head coach, and he wouldn't return my calls, wonder why. And then the assistant coaches finally put me in touch with him. And I said, can I work out with the team? He said, for what? I said, well, I want to try out. He goes, well, no one really makes a team for tryouts. We just have it because it's an NCAA rule. So unless your dad's donating money, you're probably not getting into the team. So I said, I'll just work out with the team, and then I'll try out and see what happens. He goes, all right, never heard of that, but go ahead. So it was 6 a.m. workouts, and then again at 4 and 6 p.m. And I'm not even on scholarship. So I rearrange my schedule, do all that, try it out. He comes over, Coach Boeheim, and says, no one's making the team. I went up to him, I told you, this doesn't happen. So then I stayed there that summer on my own dime, got a job, took summer courses, worked out with the team in the summer. Then into the fall, tryouts again. He comes over, no one's making the team. So I was walking away, I'm all huffing and puffing, and I put on 28 pounds over one summer of muscle and grew to it. So I went from 6 feet, 165 to 6'2", 195 or whatever, 190. So he said, no one makes the team. And I go over to thank him, and he goes, I don't want to embarrass you or anyone else, but you're on the squad. Go pick a jersey number, and that's it. And I picked 31, because I love Reggie Miller, and I wore 31 for the first 2 months. I went in my locker one day, and they said, there's number 15 in there. And I said, well, what's going on? Where's my jersey? And the equipment guy says, come out to the dome with me. So we go up to the Gary Dome. He points up. It's a retired number. Pro Washington, best player ever played Syracuse. I'm wearing his jersey for half the year. So it was a pretty funny moment. But, yeah, I mean, listen. You know, if you want to try to walk on somewhere or something like that, you got to be persistent. You know, you got to go knock on the doors. You got to hound the coaches, and don't stop and work out with the team. But then again, you know, you have to understand that if you do walk on somewhere like that, you're not going to play. Simple as that. So if you can't accept that role for 4 years after being a practice guy, then don't do it, because that will get kicked off. But I did that, not just I wanted to play at that level. I did it, and the biggest lesson here is because I wanted a connection after. I wanted to coach. So I already kind of started networking my way without even knowing what networking was. So I walked on. Me and Coach Van became extremely tight. He was a walk-on himself. No one realizes that, but he walked on himself, so the respect was already there. He helped me get my first job. 2 months later, he made a call to Seth Greenberg, who's now on the ESPN, South Florida, and I got an assistant coaching job without even an interview. Bayham called. So it all ended up working out, and from there, obviously, I did a lot of things, and here I am now with the Olympic team 8 years ago, and it's me and Coach Bayham, like full circle. So I just network the heck out of myself. That's the biggest thing I can say. Always, especially now, take people's names, look people in the eye. You know, check up on people all the time, because those are people that are probably going to be able to help you, you know, in the future. So, and if you don't do that, it's going to be out of sight, out of mind. That's why like a Steph Curry, Kevin Love, they're very good at looking you in the eye, having a conversation, being genuine. And it's not because he wants to help, but he realizes this is what networking is. So there's other guys that are terrible at it. They just think they're too good to talk to anybody, and then they retire at 32 years old and they have no one. So that goes a long way. Networking now is a very easy thing to do with the phones and iPads or whatever. So there's kind of no reason not to do that. So I would definitely keep that in mind, not just for basketball, but for, you know, a career when you're done in college.
Well, I read the book, and I'm actually in the process of reading it again, because I was kind of excited when he said that, you know, we have this little Zoom, you know, we don't want to take too much of your time. But after I finished reading it, because I wanted to read it before I pass it out to the players, and I highlighted some areas and some pages, which I thought the whole book, you know, was good. But there were certain things that I thought was directed, or one or two players can really, you know, use that information. And so I'm in the process of reading it again. And Mr. B, if you can you unmic those guys?
Yep, I'll go ahead and do that right now.
Okay. First of all, what's up, guys? It's good to see y'all, man.
Coach.
I've zoomed in on some of y'all classes. Y'all didn't know I was there, so you didn't know I had those computer skills, but I do. Hey, but at this time, any of you guys got any questions for Coach? I know freshman does. No freshman?
Come on. Anything.
Hey, are you ever in the DFW area?
No, not really. Not really. I used to train Jerry Jones' grandkid Paxton for a couple of years, so I was down there a lot. But that was the last time I was really down there.
Well, if you're ever in the area, make sure you give us a call, and I'd like to take you to lunch, you know, and pick your brain, you know, just a little. I know personal training is a little different from team concepts, but you can kind of blend them all in together, which is what I try to do. As far as, you know, we don't have our bigs working just on post moves. We have them doing, you know, dribbling drills and everything else. But
no, that's key. You got to work on everything. Like I said, the game has changed so much since I started doing this in like 05, and it's not long ago, but it's a different game. And again, if you can't shoot, you're gonna have a problem winning in this league. You know, Ben Simmons, other guys can shoot. You're not gonna win championship. Simple as that. So that's
what about
no
film work? How are you?
Yeah, film work is big.
Yes.
And it's something I really enjoyed doing with the guys because they can visual is a great thing. But with you guys, you should watch NBA guys. Watch guys that have the great footwork. Go back to Tim Duncan or Kobe and watch that kind of footwork, which is key now in the league. You don't have footwork. You don't have much going on. But my main things that I love working out with guys, no matter what position they are, you got to be able to change speeds all the time. I always say slow is quick. Play slow. And by that, I mean slow and under control. So then if you're slow, then you can burst. I trained Russell, Wall, and Derek almost the whole career. And that's the main thing we worked on at the beginning. Not the jump shot, was slowing down, playing. They didn't understand that because the whole career, the backboard, boom, boom, dunk, whatever it was. So, but now at the NBA level, everybody can do that. So it took 2 years. It took 2 years. And these things take a long time.
Right.
Long time. We cannot expect to improve your three-point jump shot even in one summer. I mean, you can get better at it, but maybe not from here to here. When Derek scored 50 points 2 years ago, and it was very emotional night for him and all that, and the newspaper called me, Minneapolis Tribune, and they said, what are you and Derek working on last summer? I said, summer? This took 12 years to get to this point with the 2 points. So, Russell, John, Derek, I don't let them work on threes with me at least to the third year in the league. I said, you can't tell me you can make 19 out of 20 from the foul line. Why the hell are we going to move you off the three-point line? So it takes time. It's patience. Don't get frustrated, but you got to put the time in and make sure every rep is a game rep. Every single time you make a move, ask yourself if that worked in a game. And it's so your workout should be any more than an hour, 1 hour. So, but you got to be persistent. I mean, my greatest story that I have is when I wanted to work the ABCD camp, which was the camp to go to. I don't know if you guys knew back in the day. Sonny Vaccaro ran it. They did some 30 for 30 on Sonny. I wanted to get into the camp, but I was a dodgeball teacher in my high school. And I got his home number. He wouldn't return my calls, obviously. I got his fax number. And I faxed his house every night at dinner time at 6 p.m. for 70 straight nights. And it basically broke his fax machine. I got a call from Lincoln High School head coach, Bobby Hartstein, with Marbury played and those guys. He said, you're in the camp, stop faxing. And I got in, and I don't know what the heck I was doing. But that's where I met Rose and Love. And from there, our relationship took off. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of persistence I'm kind of talking about. And I always said, you're going to say no, say no.
What about practice habits? I mean, not just personal training. We're talking about having practice habits where you say go gain speed in everything you do, whether it's we're going through drills or plays or whatnot. Would you reiterate to my guys how you don't go half speed, whether we're just going through the motions and all that kind of stuff. Every time you step on the court, you want to play to a level where this may be your last time you ever get a chance to play.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, not just physically, but you got to be there mentally too. But the physical part of it, yeah, I mean, the greatest players ever, I mean, they're locked in every practice, locked in, going hard as they possibly can. And it's, if you're going to kind of slouch around, maybe take a time off, take a day off, or take a play off, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to get recruited. And these coaches are making a lot of money and feeding their families with it. They're not going to take a risk on a kid, a maybe kid that lets a slouch or doesn't work hard in practice. It's not going to happen. It just isn't going to happen.
What position did you play? Were you point guard?
Shooting guard.
Shooting guard. Okay.
Yep.
I was a shooting guard way back in the day, and that's when 5-star camp was really big.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so, but being a shooting guard and now into coaching, I have a certain relationship with my point guards because they are the voice and the coach on the court. And I don't know, you know, with you, with Russell and Derrick Rose and training some of those guys who are point guards, I mean, they've got to be able to run the table, and I call them the waiters, because they got to serve and feed everybody. But at the same time, you know, they can score at any time they want because they got the ball 90% of the time.
Right. Yeah. The point guard, I mean, is always the extension of the coach. And I think that the relationship is huge there. I mean, that's why, like, Russell with Scott Brooks, John now with Scott Brooks, you know, Derek and Thibodeau, they had great chemistry. So the point guard, just like the quarterback, should always be in constant contact with the head coach. You know, so you kind of know, you know, get his feel, but maybe what he plays. You don't have to look over every time, whatever it is. And whatever the point guard is the leader. Doesn't mean you got to be screaming at guys, all that. Not that kind of leader, but the leader in a sense where, you know, you're directing people. And you got to be more prepared than anybody. Knowing the plays and even knowing the other team's plays, and the scouting that heavy. So, yeah, it's all the great point guards that have won championships have had great relationships with their coaches, from Isaiah to Tony Parker. I mean, just best friends, you know, basically. And that's the way it should be, for sure.
Well, Mr. B, you have anything?
I just want to thank Rob again. Hey, Rob, one thing, everybody's watching Last Dance right now. You've got some Michael Jordan stories of your own?
I do. So through Boeheim, I got into Jordan's camp in Chicago, Elmhurst College. And it was a, you know, the kids pay camp kind of thing. And the councils were college players, most of them like All-Americans. And it's this white dude walking in there and not knowing what's going on. And so we were playing one night, and Michael walks in with a cigar and a Heineken. And we're kind of like, oh, like, oh, there he is. You know, kind of like the guy has an aura about himself that it's amazing. So anyways, guy walks in. He says, I got next. And we're dead. It's like 11 at night. We've been playing all night. And it's like, all right. So some of the guys were so tired they didn't play. So finally I was like, I'll play. And next thing you know, Mike's like, yo, Syracuse. Got my Syracuse shorts on. He goes, check ball. And I was like, hold on. I'm guarding this guy? So we check it up, whatever. He comes down first play. He posts up with the block. And he says, he catches it, and he says, right or left? And before I could answer, he went over his right shoulder, shot a three. And he's backpedaling down, or shot a fadeaway, rather. Backpedaling down. And I'm going to say word for word what he said. So my swearing here. But he says, we're running down, and he says, Syracuse, huh? I was like, yeah. He goes, they don't have fucking ESPN in Syracuse? You don't know what I do? And I was like, all right, here we go. And then I come around, and I hit a three on him. And, you know, next thing you know, we're going back and forth. And I was like, no one's going to remember this. God, no one's going to, like, believe me. So this Elmhurst College, one of, like, the managers was there. They taped the game. So I had the whole game, me guarding Mike, on a DVD. So whenever, you know, try to get a new girlfriend, I'll throw a DVD, you know.
Nice.
So, yeah, it was pretty crazy. Yeah. And then I actually coached his kid that whole week. And Mike walks in, and Marcus, who wasn't in the game. I was like, Marcus, get in the game. And Mike saw it, and he comes over to me. He's just calling me Syracuse. Or Syracuse, you don't have to put my son in the game because I'm here. You're trying to win. Do what you got to do. I was like, okay. So he saw what I did. He said, you don't got to put my son in the game. You're trying to win. Do what you got to do. You're the coach. So it was pretty cool. So then I worked the next 4 years. So it became like hanging out with Michael a week every summer. It was pretty cool.
That's nice. I like that.
And then B.J. Armstrong is one of my best friends. So he's B.J. Armstrong is Derrick Rose's agent.
He still looks like he's 21 years old.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
Good.
Hey,
Well,
Rob,
hey.
I just want to thank you for your time. I know Coach does
Rob.
too. And hey, guys, one thing, seriously, do your best. Work with your parents. You know, tweet some stuff out about Network. Let's sell some books for Rob. Get him trending on Amazon again, and do what we can. And appreciate him spend some time with the program.
Let me take a little picture from my social media.
Oh yeah, I need to take one.
Yeah.
With my scrubs. What's up, scrubs?
All right. If you guys put on Instagram, make sure you tag me. And I like it and all that stuff. So Rob Mac MBA, and keep working. Just know what when you take a rep off, you don't want to waste a rep. If you waste 20 reps a workout over the course of 7-day, week, that's wasting 140 reps. So think about it like that. You could have got really better instead of wasting reps. So all the great ones that I've trained, I mean, I have to tell them to take days off.
Hey, what was that? What was that Twitter name again?
Rob Mac NBA.
Rob Mac NBA.
Twitter and Instagram. Yep.
Good deal. I have all that stuff only because I have to watch out for these guys, make sure they're not posting inappropriate things.
Yeah.
I've got one. Look, he just looked at me because I have to make sure he doesn't post anything inappropriate. But I don't do Instagram. I do Twitter and old school Facebook. But I'll make sure I get these guys to get you on Instagram. What's that other stuff that's called, guys?
Snapchat.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah, I'm not on that.
Okay. Well, hey, thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate it. If you're ever in Dallas, man, we got to get lunch and pick your brains.
Definitely. All right, guys. Good luck. Get it done.
Thank you,
All
man.
right, guys.
Later, fellas.